Arsenal back on top of the Premier League table thanks to 2 goals tonight from Leandro Trossard and Martin Odegaard. Trossard, a very good finish. Brilliant assist from Gabriel Jesus, I think. Really why he's in the team. Not had the best season this year. Obviously missed plenty of games through injury, but his creativeness really missed at times. Could work on his finishing, I would say, if I had to criticize Jesus. But his work rate, never in doubt. The way he got the ball out to Trossard and the Trossard finish, I mean, coming up again, clutch. One of the most clutch players in this Arsenal squad, I would argue. Really good game from him. Martinelli, of course, coming on, sort of, not quite himself this season. A little bit of a lackluster game from Martinelli. I thought he was a threat at some points during the game, but overall, a little bit of a quiet game from Gabriel Martinelli, sort of summing up his season overall. But look, the important thing is Arsenal top of the league, regardless of the result tomorrow when Liverpool play Fulham. If they win, we are still ahead on goal difference. City will drop down to third place, but of course that game in hand. City winning against Chelsea today in the FA Cup, semi-final. Good for Arsenal. I mean, I know Pep is talking about how tired his players are, how unfair it is. I saw a rumor that Rodri and De Bruyne had asked to be substituted. I think it was against Real Madrid, if I'm not mistaken, because you look at the amount of games that we're playing. Even Mikel talking about it in his press conference. Lots and lots of games. Important statement about the FA Cup replays being scrapped. I think it's good for us. Maybe not so good for the lower tier teams, but overall, positive development in that, at least in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, the FA Cup replays, having to reschedule games, teams not being up to date in match week, whatever it is, or a game behind, a game in hand, it does have an effect on the season overall, and I'm personally happy to see that changed. But let's get back to the game against Wolves. Molyneux, Bukayo Saka today booed every time he touched the ball, targeted, fouled 5 times before halftime today, doubled up constantly. And the hate that Saka gets, this whole limping thing that you see, I'm sure everyone has seen the video, supposedly Joshua Kimmich mocking Saka for limping off. And the way things snowball nowadays, it is pure hate watching. I mean, don't get me started on this sad little Tottenham song, that they made, because you've got nothing else to do on a Wednesday or on a Tuesday night, a dead fucking club. But the way that you can just get away with anything these days, I've seen it on Instagram, I've seen it on Twitter, just pure speculation, and people who hate Saka for whatever reason they may, just roll with it because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel better about themselves. They have no idea. They're not interested in the fact that Saka has been nursing an Achilles injury for months now. January was when it was first mentioned, but obviously didn't start in January, went back to 2023. Anyone with a brain can look it up, but people choose not to because they just don't care. Because you know what? It feels good to be anonymous on Twitter and to shit on people who are successful and people that are better than you, or just players that you don't like because they play for Arsenal or a rival club or whatever it is. And I'm just so bored of conversations like this. It's almost impossible to have an actual conversation with anybody on social media these days. Instagram is probably a little bit better than Twitter. I don't do TikTok. Obviously YouTube, I don't get much traction here. I like I say, I was always open to it, but Twitter is just such a cesspool. I actually deleted Twitter on Wednesday after the Bayern Munich game. I think I touched it at work the next day, logging on. I had to get pictures for a thumbnail, video that I made. But it felt so good to not have to read just nonsense. It's all just conjecture and it's just bullshit. It's a bullshit machine. People go with whatever narrative makes them happy, go with whatever narrative, gets them likes and interactions. You can't even open a post about football these days without someone posting a video about some fucking elephant or something totally irrelevant to the post itself. And it's just a shitty environment overall. And to see Saka really at the forefront of the abuse on that app, and it's even Arsenal fans. I see people posting a video today about Foden missing an open goal. He dribbles around, difficult shot. It would have been a difficult finish. He's off balance, and this guy talks about, if it was Saka, he'd be being ripped apart. these people are part of the problem, and I don't know how nobody understands this, or they can't see it themselves. They're making up these fantasy scenarios, living in fantasy land because someone else made fun of Saka or came at him. They think they get to make up a scenario about Foden or about Rashford or whoever it is. And it's just this continuous cycle of bullshit that it's never going to end. The only way it's going to end is if I stay off of Twitter. But that's where I get the news. That's where conversations happen about football, good or bad. They're there. It's pretty hard to stay off social media these days, especially someone like me who enjoys making video and content about Arsenal. I wish I could probably make these videos a little more interesting, maybe get some traction on YouTube. But overall, look, it's 3 points. I'm not going to sit here and rant for too much longer. Top of the league, 5 games to go. Do Arsenal have a chance? I suppose they do. Obviously, the games are there to be won. Still have to go to Chelsea. Still have to go to Tottenham. Those are going to be 2 very difficult games. Chelsea kind of finding their form. Cole Palmer is definitely going to be a threat, although he was pretty quiet today. We'll see. Again, I'm optimistic. I have a hope that Arsenal can get away with something. Just beat who's in front of you next, and that's going to be Chelsea. So, look, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thanks very much for watching. If you made it this far, I do really appreciate it. Give me a comment down below if you watched this at all. Tell me what you think about Saka, the abuse he gets, how unfair is it? And just overall, give me something to interact with, negative, positive, whatever. But I'm trying to spend less time on Twitter, and I think more time doing stuff like this. So again, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you when I see you.